Hello and welcome to the Amplify Digest. I'm your host, Lars Schmidt, and each week I break down some of the top news, trends, and resources in all things people. And all the articles I'm about to walk you through, you can find the links to all of these on the Amplify Talent blog and many more. I usually pick the top 5 for each digest. I usually include at least 10 in the recap. So definitely go there and check that out if you want to go deeper. These are all articles that are curated to be worth your time, and let's dig right in. So the first article I want to flag is this HBR piece on managing your energy, not your time. And I think in this environment of burnout that many of us are experiencing, the framing of this really resonated with me. And so there's a couple key points the article makes. One is that, hours and time is finite, but energy is not. And it was interesting. I shared this article on LinkedIn, and Colleen McCreary, a good friend who is the chief people officer at Credit Karma, weighed in about time is also not equal. You may have a very stressful event or a meeting that is for a shortened period of time, and that takes much more out of you than just doing, typical work that you may have. And so this article goes into a bit more context on how some companies are looking at things like renewal rooms. Those of you that are working in an office right now, having that space where you can go and just refresh a bit and rebuild your energy. And then there's other ideas in the article around ways that you can cultivate positive energy as well. And so again, I think in this environment of rampant burnout, this article is really helpful to maybe reframe some of where you invest your energy and refresh your energy, not just your time. This is a really great piece, as he usually writes, from Dave Ulrich around really what the future of HR can look like. And so it was a piece that he wrote on LinkedIn, breaks down some of the key competency models for modern HR, and breaks down exactly kind of some of the different capabilities that we need to build and have to be impactful in this new world of work. And so Dave has had a front row seat to the evolution of HR for decades, and really interesting to see his insights in this piece. So definitely worth your time. This New York Times piece gets into what we probably all, especially those of us who do any recruiting, have seen firsthand, is that it's very much a candidate's market right now. And so this piece gets into some of the components as to why that is and how to be thinking about this from a recruiting perspective. So another piece that definitely is worth your time. And then this is probably one of my favorite articles that I've seen that talks about this whole kind of talent shortage and the Great Resignation, Great Realignment, however you want to frame it. But it's a piece by HBR that frames looking at your talent process like you would a supply chain. And it gets into a range of aspects that you need to consider around that. But here's the 3 highlights. Really how employees have to work actively to draw from a broader talent base. And again, for those of you that are now in remote and hybrid situations, obviously your talent pool has expanded vastly beyond your local hiring market. Looking at investing and growing your own. Retention is very much reliant upon the ability to develop and grow talent internally. And so again, making the supply chain analogy, having that ready pipeline of talent that is able to move into new positions as they vacate and become open is key. And the companies that are really weathering all of the turmoil happening on the talent market are ones that are investing in those internal talent development systems that allow them to keep talent. And then also looking at just the fundamental principles of supply chain. Primarily, you need to be able to have a bench of talent before you need it, right? That is the key of supply chain. You're not acquiring just-in-time pieces to build your products. You have a supply chain and a pipeline that's built so that it's ready when you need it. And we have to think about talent the same way, especially for those of us that are hiring at any level of scale. And then last piece, again, lots of stuff in HBR this week, but they've had some really great articles. The new rules for managing hybrid teams. So again, for many of us, we are now hybrid by default, and that does require a lot of shifts and changes to our approach to managing, building, and developing talent. And so this article gets into some of the ways that we should be thinking about that. And that's a wrap for this week. Again, lots of other great articles in the blog post, so be sure to check that out on amplifytalent.com. And until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I'll see you next week.